What's up, it's a Spherical, and welcome back to Tusks, an orc dating simulator. When last we left off, we had just finished day one. We had just had a wonderful conversation with the orc scholar. I love him so much. He's cute. He's really cute. But we were about to start on our next leg of the journey to, go north to the thing. But yeah, let's get into it. Day 2! It's the start of a new day with the Force! Once you get out of bed, you and the rest of the group have breakfast, pack up your tents and belongings, and head back to the road. Cannadig and Roar address the group once you're all ready to leave. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all had a pleasant first night. The plan for today is much the same as yesterday. We're going to continue on the road for most of the morning. However, once we reach the border of this fiefdom, around noon, we'll need to leave the road and find a smaller, less traveled path through the countryside. While most of the people in this fiefdom bear us no ill will, I can't say the same for the neighboring ones. Unfortunately, there's a whole pyramid of human political machinations going on, and we're not even part of it. We're the ones that get buried underneath the rubble once it's all over. So stay cautious and we should be alright. Hashtag not all humans. Okay. Will we have to fight? I'd like to avoid that as much as possible. The last thing any of us needs is being mistaken for a bandit group, a family of border reavers, or a war clan. And while I'm sure Furdog could take on any human we're likely to encounter here, I'd rather not have to test that unless it's absolutely necessary. Right. I'd like to keep my strength for more important things, like the downright grueling walking speed you have us marching on, Roar. Hey, if we're cutting through the countryside, we have to keep a steady pace. It'd be faster if we could take the roads all the way north, but it's just too risky to be on them all the time. It should be less of an issue in a day or two, I'd imagine. Once we're closer to the highlands, we'll be safer. In any case, we need to be on our guard. Hey, Roar? How come we're not using the river nearby for travel? It looks like it flows in the direction we're going to be walking, so it would mean we wouldn't need to tire ourselves out so much. Taking the river's not something I'd really considered before. But I don't think it's much of an option anyway. Further down, it passes through the middle of a large human town. While they probably wouldn't mind us showing up, it's still risky traveling directly into a human settlement. Most of our route to the highlands is much the same. Avoid human settlements as much as possible. Besides, can you even imagine all of us on a boat together off on some heroic adventure of romance and discovery? It's like the start of a bard's tale. Or a dating sim. Gorham's question raises an interesting point, though. Roar, Malgolm, and I have walked these roads many times before, and we have our route planned out, taking into account the weather, how busy the roads may be, even where we might be able to camp for the night. But perhaps we could benefit by taking into consideration everyone else's feelings on the route we take, including any suggestive alternative routes to try. Yes! Pool everybody's collective knowledge and understanding. Good. I think it's something we can talk more about over the next day or two at any rate. Right. For now, let's hit the road, Force. The group pick up the rest of their belongings, and you all file onto the road, setting out onto the next stage of your journey north. You and the rest of the Force make steady progress along the trail through the hills and fields. The path winds, but rarely divides, and the terrain is easy to deal with. Over the next few hours, the group spends time intermittently talking, laughing, and spending time with one another. Every hour or two, you all take a moment to rest, recover, and eat. Furdog keeps watch on the roads, Roar keeps watch on the time, and Senadig keeps a watch on morale. For the last hour or so, you and the group have been walking and chatting together. And for most of that time, 8 seems to be lagging behind a little. He doesn't seem as capable of walking at a pace with the rest of you, and he hasn't been talking very much. Are orcs, on average taller than humans? Because that might be why he's having such a hard time if he has to walk at an increased pace to keep up with everybody. Senadig and Brocken are walking together in deep conversation. They appear to be talking about the road ahead. Roar and Sithig walk at either side of you. While Sithig and you have enjoyed some idle chatter, Roar seems somewhat distracted. Malgolm and Gorham have paired off a little way ahead of the group, Their shared laughter occasionally drifts back behind them. And some way away from the rest of the group, Fair marches on, staring across the horizon before him. It's hard to tell if he's deep in thought or just spacing out. He's probably scouting, because we're going through a vaguely hostile territory, and he's the clan guard, so he's probably watching for any threats. Do I join Senedig and Brocken, who appear to be my favorites? Sithig, include Roar in your conversation with Sithig. Join Ferndog at the end of the group, fall back and talk to Aid. Wander to the side of the group and walk by yourself. Senedig and Brocken seem to be having deep conversation by themselves. Roar, I'm not sure what's going on with Roar. He seems distracted. Maybe he's thinking about the threats as well. Maybe if I fall back and talk to Aid, Sithig will include Roar naturally? Let's fall back and talk to Aid. You allow the rest of the force to pass you by, hanging back a little until Aid catches up to you. When he sees you waiting for him, he gives you a warm smile. Hey, Alagnar! Aid can't maintain his smile for long without starting to puff and pant as he tries to keep pace with the force. Poor guy. Do you mind if we slow the pace down a little bit? I don't think I can walk and talk at this rate. You acquiesce and match Aid's pace. He seems instantly appreciative. Thanks, Alagnar. I'm still trying to get used to all this traveling, camping, socializing, and stuff. I'm pretty new to all of it. In fact, this is probably the furthest I've ever traveled by myself. Well, not by myself, because I'm part of the Force. I mean, I didn't mean part of it like I'm not one of you, but not that that's a bad thing. I'm human and you're not, but that's okay. Aid takes in a deep breath. What I mean is, I've never really done anything like this in my life before. Moving away, sharing a life with people just like me, free from my family. I've never really been anywhere outside of my home. How are you enjoying traveling with us? What about the college? What's your home like? Ooh, I don't necessarily want to bring that up. What about the college? Oh, right. Yeah, I suppose that kind of counts. Well, actually, that was different. The college wasn't too far from my home. I used to peer in through the windows when I was a kid, play in the cloister halls, pretend I was a scholar even. I'm just glad I'm here with you guys now. I don't have to worry about what came before so much, right? I feel like I'm becoming a new person when I'm with you all. Aww! Yay! A better version of me. You and Aid continue to walk along the path at a slightly slower rate than the rest of the Force. Something catches your eye as you continue marching along. Roar is scanning across the front of the group, his eyes panning over the hills and fields, passing between each member of the group, before he turns around and his gaze lands on Aid. Aid? What are you doing all the way back here? I thought we'd lost you. I'm sorry. You're all able to keep walking for longer than I can. I keep getting left behind. We need to keep up this pace to get past the county border and find a safe spot to camp before dusk. Anywhere else and we're likely to veer too far off course and end up camping too close to a trade route or hunting trail. I don't want to risk us becoming the next set of heads on some ranger's trophy wall. People don't really do that to you, do they? Oh, Aid. Oh, Aid. As a member of a privileged class, don't realize what happens. It's okay, buddy. Not as much as they used to. There's a lot less ceremony when we get killed now. That's something I'd rather avoid, and that's why we need to soldier on. I'm falling behind a little myself, Roar. Perhaps we should take a break here. I'm all for taking a break, too. Hang on, guys. Up ahead, look. Fair nods toward the... See, I knew he was scouting! A few yards ahead, a large cluster of people, human and orcs alike, are talking animatedly beside a high fence, flanked with humans in heavy armor. Oh. Some of the people assembled there are shouting at each other. One of the people in armor spots you and the rest of the force on the road, and points you out to a man in yellow and white robes and armor. A superior officer, who then beckons you over. Shit. Looks like turning tail and running away isn't going to be an option. You and the rest of the group approach the crowd, and some of the armored guards keep their gaze fixated on you as you traipse up the path. I hope joining aid didn't fuck us over. You walk past groups of people, some humans, most orcs, who are either arguing with the guards close to the gates of the fence or sitting on the roadside alongside their belongings. As you get closer to the gates, the superior officer turns to speak to you. In doing so, he all but ignores the trio of orcs who are talking with him. Have you got a writ of passage or identifying documentation? Why do we need a writ of passage? We've traveled along these roads for decades and never needed any kind of documents. The road into the county is limited for security reasons. No one not on civic or royal business can be admitted into. One of the members of the nearby orcish trio strides over to your side, followed shortly by the other two. Damn, okay. It's border control. They don't want undesirables on their lands. That simply isn't true. We welcome anyone of any race to you as our lands for passage. All we ask in return is cooperation and some checks to ensure the safety of our people. Sure. We are your people. All three of us have lived in these lands for years. We have friends, humans even, who knew us near the Duskwater. They can attest to our character. Then you should have no trouble providing the necessary document to fuck you. That's not how it works, and you know it. If you can't provide this, we'll have to ask you to step away from the gates and let others through. Any attempt at crossing from here will result in your arrest. The guardsman steps away to attend to a group of humans nearby. This is ridiculous. Too right. We've been stuck here for hours. Some of the other folk here have been waiting a day or two. You have come from the Uwa, right? That's right. Same here. My name's Shanag. Me, my sibling Inshan, and my sister-in-law Magai. I'm sorry. Mai? Okay, Shanag, Inshan, and Mai. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get back to our village. I'm Roar, and this is the rest of my clan, the Orcish Force. We need to get through the border gate to continue our journey. We're trying to make the Shilog. A cross-country journey hamstrung in the first few miles? Unacceptable. Tell me about it. So what about you? You're just waiting here? We are. There was another guy here, a courier, who left a few hours ago to see if he could find another route into the county that wasn't guarded. He said he would come back before dusk sets in to let us know. I doubt he'll have found anything, though. Any routes that don't pass close to well-fortified settlements will have some kind of additional security measures. That's probably why they've set up the border control here. It's bad news for us, at least, but not necessarily for you folks. You and the Force can just cross into the adjacent county and continue your journey from there. Too much Reaver activity there recently. We'd be walking targets, which means we're left with the option of traveling west to the coast and trying to find someone to take us on a boat. I don't fancy our odds of managing that either. Besides, our seer tells us all options bar this one would spell our doom, although he says that about a lot of things. From behind Roar, Malgom nods. Oh, okay, you're a seer. What have you seen? Flesh decomposing into dust and scattered across empty tumuli? Blood hanging in the air like a memory of our bodies, but without the skin to testify that it is ours. The dead will no longer be remembered. Here? Everywhere. That's pretty melodramatic. I doubt we're all going to be obliterated if we take a slightly different route to our destination. That's not what the vision means. It was vital for you to take this road to experience what happens here, to understand what lies beneath all of this. What does that even mean? You might not need to find out. Here comes that courier I told you about. Following their gaze, you look over to see another orc. Oh, that was a non-binary orc! Oh my god! Ah! Sorry. You look over to see another orc striding down a side path towards you all, taking care at the last moment to ensure the guards won't notice his return. Alright. Domno, what did you find? Not much? There's gates up all around the county, and they're set up so that even if you manage to sneak in between one of the gates and the next, the terrain will be dead difficult to cross. Or you'll put yourself square in the sights of a guard patrol route. They're patrolling inside the border? Right, so big man. Talked to a few folk, though. Said that the patrols are only around the borders, between the gates themselves. Once you're a few miles clear there, you're fine. There's a gap in the defense between this gate and the next one back the way I came, but there'll be some amount of climbing involved. So if we need to get in there, it's either fighting our way through the gates here, or sneaking in down the road and climbing our way in. We can take the gate, Shanag. We can overpower them easily. But do we have to fight? Sometimes you have to, but this might not be one of those times, and we should seriously consider avoiding it if possible. Especially because Shanag, Mai, and I will be the ones facing any consequences there might be if we cause trouble here. I don't want to put my wife or my sister into that kind of danger if I can avoid it. That's right, we live here after all. A slow climb might be preferable to a hasty bloodbath. That said, we're not all capable of climbing at the same rate. In fact, I don't wager I'd do very well in combat either. Alright, so whatever we choose to do here, we're going to need to help each other through it. That includes the rest of the people waiting out in front of the gate here, too. We cannot race ahead to get to a place of safety and leave everyone else behind. We move forward as a unit. Let's put this to a vote. Should we break through the gate or sneak around and climb into the country? Oh no. Okay, so everybody can't climb at the same rate, but not everybody can survive a battle either. So, and if we stay hidden, we may be able to take our time a little bit with climbing. I know the border patrol does their rounds, but if we can find places to hide in the crags, then we might be okay. I'm gonna vote to sneak. I think the Lagnar might be right. Sneaking in could work. I think we should sneak around. Both options will be difficult, but sneaking around sounds like the better. Yeah, I'm with Kennedy. I'm here to fight. I'm confident we can get through here. Maybe just this one we should fight through? I'm not totally sure. The climb. And the psychic is with me, so like... Fairdog's told us he's capable and he would be enough to get us through that gate on our own, but we have even more capable warriors here. We can definitely do this. Sorry. Fighting is absolutely barbaric, but I don't much fancy a climb today. Onward march. Come on, we can bust through, eh? I think we've got the numbers to do this. I know we can get through there and keep everyone here safe. I bet we... It seems like the vote is to storm the gates. We should spare the gods here if only to demonstrate the compassion they so lack. But their squealing would be magnificent to hear. Okay. Yeah, we got outvoted. Alright, let's get through this gate and break into the county. After a few minutes of conferral, each member of the group make their move. Brocken, Aid, and Kennedy discreetly talk to the people assembled in groups around the gates, out of earshot of the guards. Their message? That anyone willing and able aid them in non-fatally subduing the guards so that everyone here can get through into the county. Gorum and Domnall work on keeping the guards distracted. So that Fairdog, Inshan, and Roar can get into position near the guards and prevent them from getting too close to anyone unwilling or unable to fight. Meanwhile, May and Mulgom stand atop a rocky outcrop and keep an eye on the area, prepared to shout instructions or warn anyone of any complications. Shanag begins to pace up to one of the guards, keeping her ears keened as she takes each tentative step. The air is still for a few seconds, electrically charged with the intent of the Force and their allies. And then the stillness is broken. Begin, if you please! The disparate orcs and travelers move as one body. Shanag charges forward and rams her fists into the guardsman nearest the gate, and he drops almost instantly. She quickly moves to the next. Roar comes up behind the second guardsman and holds back his arms before he has a chance to draw. Shanog dashes up unhindered and delivers a knee to the groin, a headbutt to the crown, knocking the man limp in Roar's arms. 2 down. Too many to go. Inshun quickly incapacitates a guard distracted by the ruckus. They slam their foot down atop the others and smash themselves into the ground with their full body, knocking the defender to the ground where a swift kick renders the man unconscious. Only one more guard near the gate and we can start shifting people through. Across from Inshun, Sithig is working the guard in question. More accurately, Sithig is backed up against the gate as the guard brandishes his sword in front of— oh no! Sithig's shoulders press up against the gate. The guard lunges forward. Nonchalantly, Sithig raises a hand to the blade as it arcs towards him. The weapon clatters off of the assortment of bangles and bracelets around his wrist, snapping clean one of them, barely marking the others and leaving the guard's sword with a chip in the blade. The guard stumbles forward with the momentum of his swing, tripping over into a crawl, and Sithig rowdily delivers a kick to the man's stomach, causing him to crumple at the grease's feet. Damn! Damn! When you look this good, my majestic king, the gods make sure your style remains utterly inviolate. The gate's clear. Let's press on, shall we? That was badass! Sithig begins shepherding orcs and humans alike through the gate as the other combatants move onto the sides to incapacitate the other guards in the vicinity. No time is wasted. People dash through the gate as quickly as they are able. Within moments, the other guards occupying the surrounding area have been dealt with, and the stronger members of the group begin to walk back to the gate. Is that... Mai stares out into the distance, far beyond Faradog and the others. Malgum, can you see? There's something coming. 6 of Swords. Those men do not bear the same crest as these. Rationale would lead them to aid their fellows, and a few will give chase, but will likely turn back to tend to the wounded rather than to make full the rest of us. Time to leave then. Mai raises her hands and gestures toward Faradog and the others, urging them to haste back, which they do. Mai and Malgum step down from the rocky outcrop and rejoin the group. There's another group of guardsmen about to arrive. So long as we can clear the area within a few minutes, we should be fine. Alright, let's get going. War turns to face the few remaining members of the force and their allies. Everyone, we need to clear out. Get moving and get out of here. Roar's direction is all the motivation anyone needs. The people passing through the gate make haste and begin to disperse through the fields beyond the gate. With them go the force, who march through the gate and join the rest of the orcs and humans crossing through the border. Wait. Oh boy. We need to get out of here. We're not all gonna make it, are we? Listen to the seer. Elagnar, I think it's high time for some witchcraft. We need a symbol of protection first, something that resonates with the idea of defense. A blockade, a bulwark. Any ideas? A piece of gate? A wicked smile forms on Mai's face. Quite right. Bring some here. You do as instructed. Though engineered to keep people out, the actual construction of the wooden metal fence is flimsy and haphazard. Obviously, its power came from its use as a symbol more than its practical use. You easily tear a palm-sized splinter of wood from the gate. It breaks away with a pleasing cracking noise. You return the object to Mai. Perfect. We'll set it down here on the inside of the gate. Mai stoops down and presses her hands atop the fragment of the gate. She begins to mutter under her breath, staring down at the earth below her. Echo, echo, the kirk well's unbroken. Lights hence from within cast a boundary fence. You notice that not all of the orcs and humans have departed the gate yet. Some, including Senadig, Gorum, and Dumnall, stand nearby, obviously waiting for you and Mai to catch up, and probably curious about what you're up to. Grothanar, Matirade, 2 hands, palms pressed before you, you are denied, thus you are invoked. Mai continues to mutter phrases you're not entirely sure you understand, but a moment later she draws some kind of sign in the air before her, pushes the object of her enchantment deep into the soil, and climbs to her feet. So mote it be. We're done now. You close that side of the gate, Alagnar, and I'll close this one. The two of you push the doors of the gate closed, just in time to see the guardman from the second group rounding the corner. Run! The two of you bolt from the gate, and in your wake, the other orcs and travelers nearby all surge ahead, running away from the gate even as the guardsmen behind it attempt to breach it. Casting a glance back, you notice that the gate doors don't want to budge an inch. Nonetheless, you and the rest of the orcs and travelers flee the gate, through the shrub and tree-lined hills, towards the dense forest on the horizon that could hide your tracks. After a few seconds of running, Senedig's steps quickly falter and his pace slows to a stumble. Oh no! Wait, please. I can't run anymore. Then brace yourself, my august squire, because you're coming with me. Sithig slows his pace as he approaches Senedig, dips himself down, and hoists Senedig up into his arms without stopping. As soon as he has Senedig cradled in front of him, he picks up speed again, barreling through the countryside at rate. As if we'd ever leave you behind. Aww. As they run through the shrubland, the orcs and travelers begin to break away from each other, forming new groups, shouting their farewells to one another and running off in new directions, including the force's newfound allies. Mai! Inshan! This way! Roar, thanks for having us. You fought well. Wait, Shinna, come with us! There's safety in our numbers! This is where our paths split for now. We'll see you again soon. Take care of the force, Roar. Mai and Inshan break away from the force as they shout their farewells. Inshan takes Mai's hand in hers, and the two of them share a kiss without ever breaking stride, before they race ahead to join Shanag. The three orc women do not look back as they veer away from the other groups in the area. Instead, they run on, their attention ever forward towards their destination. Oh, Inshan might have been a non-binary or a gender non-conforming woman. Okay. They soon disappear from sight. Over to your far left, half hidden by the bushes and trees between you, you see Gorum slowing his pace, looking around as though confused. Wait, where's everyone in the force? Roar? Brocken? Feardog? Where are you guys? They're over here, Gorum. Follow me. Domhnall takes Gorum's hand in his and drops his pace to match Gorum's. The two of them cross in front of you as Domhnall guides Gorum back to the force. The two of them run alongside their friends, still hand in hand. Aww. Aww. Love blossoming in the darkness of war. Before long, the other orcs and travelers have dispersed along the hills, disappearing towards the horizon like tiny dark stars that fade as dusk begins to settle in. No guardsmen seem to have given chase after all. The force begin to slow their pace as they approach the tree line of the dense forest. We're safe for now. Let's set up camp once we're a wee way into the forest. After all that, I think we deserve a rest. Alright, in that case, it looks like it's time for me to head off. I've got messages to deliver for tomorrow. You're welcome to stay with us for the night, Domhnall. In fact, it may be better that way than to be one orc traveling. No, yeah, you should stay. We broke through the gate and, Mai's witchcraft helped, but I think people will be patrolling for us. There's safety in numbers. Domhnall nods. Alright then, I guess I'll stay for the night. Thanks for having me, guys. The more the merrier. Alright, let's find a suitable spot for camp. The group make their way into the forest, traipsing between the sheltering trees as the moonlight lights a patchy path through the foliage to a safe space inside, nestled near a small clearing. Roar calls for the group to stop and set up camp. It doesn't take as long for you all to assemble your tents, lamps, and a campfire this time, and within a half hour the flickering lanterns cast their light on the resurrected campsite. Feardog and Malgom are out on duty. All is quiet in the camp tonight. It seems you can spend time with someone from the camp. I want to go see Brocken again. Hey, Alagnar. Good to see you again. Is there something I can help you with? I wanna talk to you about orcish culture. I was just wondering if you want to spend some time together. Sorry, Alagnar. I'd like to head to bed early, so I don't have a lot of time. Maybe we can stay up late another night? Okay. Ask away. Why were you at the UA? Brocken sighs a little. I'm still trying to work that out, if I'm honest. Take a seat. You sit down beside Brocken. He stares at the ground in front of you, though there doesn't seem to be anything there. So, you already know I'm a scholar, of course, and that before the UA I was living in the city. Unfortunately, I don't know if either of those things are necessarily true anymore. The colleges, in spite of being places of learning, are particularly devoted to learning of a religious bent. Oh, I feel you. As you might expect, they don't think kindly of us. In fact, they barely even recognize our existence, except as rhetorical devices to juxtapose with their own ideas, or as problems for bright students to solve. They have a passing interest in the idea of orcish culture and hold written accounts of such in their libraries. When I first moved to the city, I thought I would be a good fit for them, being an orc and all. But I've never been allowed on the grounds of any college I've visited, let alone been accepted. Oh my god. Poor Brocken. You don't need those places, you're better than them. That sounds awful. We deserve to be on college campuses just as much as fucking everybody else. That sounds awful. Thank you, Elegnar. I appreciate that. It's hard, because these colleges are places I've looked up to from afar, ever since I first found out about them. It's ironic, though, isn't it? I want to join the college and study our culture as an insider to it, but they don't want me. Aid wants to study our culture as an outsider, and they'll eagerly have him. If passion prevents impartiality, perhaps only the disinterested should study us. Who knows? But in spite of that, I did find some other people, some human, some orcish, that I could debate and discuss these things with. We founded our own orcish fraternity, dedicated to the knowledge of our kind. We found ways of getting what we needed out of the colleges, getting our work included in the library, attending lectures, that kind of thing. We'd get caught, but it would be worth it. Recently, though, there's been a lot of fracturing and factioneering. People have separated into cliques and clubs, some after becoming part of the college. The fraternity has been irrevocably split, and now we rarely talk about the ideas that used to thrill us, except to argue about them. We don't debate or discuss like we used to help edify ourselves and each other. Now it's to prove that our side was right, that we'd suffered the most, that we were the true heirs of what came before. After a while, talking about yourself and people like you in an abstract way makes you feel as though you're abstract yourself. Like you've given away too much of yourself and left a ghost behind. You start to long for another person like you, to remember how real life used to feel. You start wondering, what's the point of talking about culture or community or history if I don't feel like I actually have any of those things anymore? What's the point if talking about them in these dry, desensitized places might be what drove them out of my life? I needed to reconnect, to remember that both my existence and the existence of my brothers wasn't just an abstract point to be discussed and debated. So I came back to the UA, after avoiding it for years. I can't say if being there fixed anything. I don't know if I understand what my problem really is any better yet. And I don't know if I'm going back to the city or traveling for a while. I don't know if I'm even going back to the college. What do you think I should do? Think you belong in the city but not the college. Think you belong in the college and you should fight to get in there. Spend time away from the city before making a decision. I think you should be with us. I mean, ultimately it is his decision, but he asked for my opinion. So... he is a scholar. Brocken is a scholar, and he really desperately wants to give his opinion on aspects of... like, he is an orc. And being... like, it makes sense that he would want to kind of get back to his roots after feeling like he's... because I imagine that being ostracized and stuff helped to, I guess, contribute to him feeling abstract and like an outsider. I think he should spend some time away, just thinking stuff over and really get a grounding on who he is and what he believes in and where he wants to go. I think you may be right in that regard, Alagnar. It's hard to think clearly about these doubts while I'm in the middle of the city. I start going through the list of all the things I won't have anymore. A fixed neighborhood, access to merchants, on-the-hour entertainment. 5 minutes later, all of my doubts mysteriously vanish, and I've convinced myself I can't leave the city or I'll die bereft in the wilderness. I've always been more comfortable in the city, despite all the difficulties and dangers I face there. But now I'm just not sure. Maybe I should spend some time more as a part of a community in practice rather than a community in theory. In any case, that's why I was at the UA, looking for a way to answer a question I haven't fully formed in my own head yet. Hopefully soon I'll have something of an answer that's a little more substantial than existential doubt. It's okay to take some time to, figure yourself out, though, man. That's okay. Being a scholar is a journey of discovery and a journey of knowledge. And there's nothing wrong with applying that journey to yourself as well, because sometimes you yourself need to be your own scholar and go on a journey of discovery about knowledge of yourself. All that. Hey, thank you for talking with me, Alagnar. It's a real help being able to just speak things out loud. And no matter what happens, whether I stay in the city, I try to get into the college, or I start living the nomad life, I hope you know whatever way I pursue my happiness, you've helped me get there. Now, before I get too overbearingly sentimental, is there anything else you wanted? Never mind. No problem. That's all. Alright. Catch you later, Alagnar. Fair and Malgom are out on duty. Okay, so I can talk to somebody else now. Brocken wanted to go to bed early, so I don't want to be pushy or anything. And I feel like asking him what it's like to live in a human city as an orc is just gonna pull up bullshit. I actually think I'm going to leave this off here. I know we're not finished with the night yet, but given that we weren't able to spend the time with Brocken, I'm not actually sure how long this night will last. So when I come back, let's try and talk to somebody else, I guess. But I wanted to talk to Brocken. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and for checking me out. I will leave the link to this game and the dev information in the description, and I hope you have a great week. Later!